What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode, we're going to do an update on the 4runer, figure out what the hell this thing is, and where the hell have I been the last 5 months. Let's get to it. Okay, so update on the 4runer. As you can tell, I've got new wheels and tires. These are 35-12.5 Baja Claws. They actually measure 33 for some reason. I don't know if it's a factory defect or what. There is a rear locker in the axle now. Or I should say there is a locker in the rear axle now. Something in that whole system is broken and messed up. So I bought the locker used from a buddy. It's still the factory 410 gears, just with a lunchbox style locker put in it. For some reason, it's not disengaging. It's not ratcheting like it's supposed to. It's just staying locked like a welded diff. So that's broken. When I put the locker in, I thought there was enough slack on the brake lines to just slide the axle shafts out enough to pull the third member without disconnecting the brake lines, but I was wrong. So I broke both rear brake lines. Then I've got new wheels and tires now because I forgot to tighten the lug nuts on the driver's side rear tire, and when I did my test drive, I messed up the lug nut holes on it so bad that even with the lug nuts tightened down with an impact, it would still, after you move like 50 feet, wobble itself loose and fall off. So I was originally trying to find a new set of 16-inch wheels, something to get those Mastercrafts out a little further because they rubbed on the leaf springs. I wasn't having any luck finding 16-inch rims, wheels, whatever you call them. Then a buddy of mine said he had these sitting in his shed. He hadn't used them in quite a few years. He said for $300 you can have them. So I went and picked those up. I do have to reset the bead and clean the bead on all of them. There's crud in all of them from being on his off-road only rig, so none of them hold air currently. So if you're keeping a tally, basically the wheels and tires are broken because they go flat all the time. The rear brake lines are broken. The locker or the passenger side rear axle shaft is broken, or both. I would kind of consider the locker broken because it's not disengaging. If you remember when I first got this 4runer, I said the frame was rusty. There's a hole by the gas tank. The whole rear half, basically the whole rear half of the frame's just gone. So I managed to break both rear shock mounts off of the frame. So no rear shocks. Then I did the Zook mod with some stock XJ coils. I cut them down to about 14 inches long, wedged them in there. That made fitting the wheels in the back a lot easier because, they stick out further than the Mastercrafts on the stock second gen Tacoma wheels did. So they were trying to rub the whole wheel well. So now it sits higher and it doesn't rub, but it's got like a 4-inch rake, which I hate, and there's only like 1.5 inches of rear articulation, which also sucks. Thankfully, nothing in the front end's broken, which is weird because that's usually where you break everything, is in the front axle. But there is a decent amount of play in the steering wheel, but that's to be expected in a 37-year-old truck, 38-year-old truck, something like that. Sorry, I'm breathing hard. I've gotten a lot fatter over the last few months, and it is not helping. But anyway, so you see she's got new battle scars now. A week after the cleanup ride, might have been a couple weeks, but right after the cleanup ride, we had a get-together for our buddy Kevin. If you've watched any of my off-roading videos, he was the red XJ on 33s that was always with us. He passed away, so we had a ride, a few of us got together. We hit the trails. We met up with his family at a pavilion out there. They were having a cookout and camping out for the weekend, having a good time, like in his honor or memory, whatever the right wording is. And as you can tell by this picture that's sitting on the 4Runner, I flopped it on this side, and I got a picture of it, but also flopped it on the other side, further up the trail, and I don't have a picture of that. I didn't have the doors off. Let me rephrase that. I didn't have the doors on, so that's why nothing lines up with the door anymore. I am pretty sure I bent the pillar that the door bolts to, because I now have to pick up on the door to close it, which I didn't have to do that before. But other than that, she hasn't really changed much. So this white thing here, this is a 84 or an 85, I'm not sure which, 4Runner that has sat in a buddy of mine's backyard for quite a while. I believe he said his brother had bought it, was going to turn it into something, but never did. He was trying to clear out his yard, and he had this thing loaded up on the trailer ready to take it to the scrapper. Luckily, before he did that, he sent me a message and asked me if I was interested in it. He said for $100 I could have it. So I just paid $300 for these tires. I had sold the Mastercrafts to some dude with a Duramax for $500. So I was like, I got a couple extra bucks in my wallet. Yes, I'll take it. So I went up to Wooster, Ohio, pretty much, and picked this guy up. The frame, even though it's got surface rust and moss on it, is clean. Zero rot from front all the way to the back. As you can see, it also has rock sliders. These are currently bolted on. I don't really like that. I'm eventually going to have these welded on. It also has a rear bumper. I'm not sure how it's mounted, but I'll figure that out later. I want to cap off the pipes, both the sliders and the rear bumper, so mud and salt and stuff can't get in there and rust them away faster. I want to put rear toe points on it, and eventually I want to get a pipe to match the rear bumper for the front, integrate a winch plate into it and some tow hooks. I do have a new, I believe it's a 12,000 pound Smittybilt that I won at a 4-wheel parts raffle a few years ago. This thing also has a much cleaner floor than this truck, so I'm not sure if I'm going to cut this floor up to patch this one, or I have a couple friends that do body work. I cannot talk tonight, I apologize. That I'm going to have come over and see if maybe it would be easier to take this floor pan and put it in this truck. I'm not sure which will be easier, but I do know, looking at the transmission tunnel, if I do that route, I will have to patch that. And there's also mounts there and there where they had like an internal roll bar or something. I'll have to patch that. And there's still a couple little holes in this thing that will need patched if I use this pan, or I will pretty much cut this entire pan up and replace that entire pan, because there really ain't anything left of that to get me a solid floor. But I am going to, real soon, I undid all the body mount bolts yesterday, and I have a buddy coming over tomorrow, hopefully, to help me separate them. But I am going to wire wheel and cut off anything I don't need off of the frame, and then coat it with paint and pour 15 or whatever, keep it from rusting away. Then it's going to sit here a while, because back when I had the green truck and I had the rock crawler and I sold them, I said I was going to use that money to pay for debt, pay off some credit cards and stuff. Well, at that right about that same time, I had an accident at work and destroyed my knee. So all that money went to living off of while I was going through the workers' comp stuff after having surgery on it months and months later. So like it was August of 2020 that the accident happened. If you watch the putting a rear end in the Chevy video, you can see it in the diff breather video and in the how to fit 33s, the second video of that when I did it on this truck. You can see I walk weird. So I have foot drop from where I tore the nerve to my foot. Like I can't feel nothing and I can't move it. So that's why I have to walk weird. I do have a leg brace that I wear most of the time that holds my foot up. It makes walking a lot easier. I just don't have it on right now because it's like 11 o'clock at night and I'm just not that worried about it. But also, when I recorded those videos, it was before I had gotten the brace. So I'd have to like high step and limp weird. But pretty much, I tore everything in my knee but my meniscus. I tore the ACL, the LCL. These two scars here are from the ACL repair. This big scar here, he basically had to reconstruct the whole left side of my knee. And he tried to find the nerve to my foot to try to put them back together in hopes that it would grow back together correctly and I would feel and move my foot again. Once he was in there, he said he could only find one half of it. That's not going to happen. So that kind of sucks. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing about that moving forward. But that's where I've been the last 5 months. Well, so May 25th is when I had the surgery to repair the knee, even though the accident happened August of the year before. So for about the last 4 or 5 months, I've been sitting on the couch pretty much and going to physical therapy, rebuilding the strength and the movement in my knee. So like the week after surgery, I couldn't bend my knee at all. Now I have basically full motion of the knee again. Pardon me. The only thing it really gives me troubles with is walking up and down stairs. It's just going to take time to build up the strength to do that. But so anyway, back to talking about this as motivation to make myself pay all that off. I'm going to prep the frame to be ready to be swapped over and have everything built, and then it's just going to sit here until I get that accomplished. So I will be doing videos of, separating everything, cleaning up the frame, coating it, disassembling this truck. I'm going to pull the front clip off, pull the doors off, take the top off, pull the interior out, make it as light as possible. Then until everything's paid off, that's when I'm going to stop. I might go ahead and swap the engine and transmission over while I have everything apart, just because it'll be easier. But anything that will cost money is not going to happen. I don't care if it costs $5. It's not going to happen until all the debt's paid off. So the rears up front, the Chevy 63s, the lockers, axle shafts, the bumper, the winch, none of that's going to happen till all the debt's paid off. So I wish I could tell you, that, yeah, I'm going to be putting out a video every week. It's going to be awesome. We're getting going again. I'm feeling great. But, I'm feeling pretty good. But I'm going to have self-discipline and not go balls to the walls on this like I want to. I'm going to do the smart thing and pay off the debt. And, that way I have the money to do it. Because right now, I can't afford to do any of that. But that's pretty much where we're at. If you give this video a like, I'd appreciate it. Again, I don't know when the next one will be out. I'm going to try to do maybe every month, do a video of what I've been disassembling, but I can't promise that. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.